Most famously, in April of 1920, the Daily Herald published his article, Black Scourge in Europe, Sexual Horror Let Loose by France on the Rhine. In it, Morel claimed that there was a deliberate policy of importing sexually unrestrained men into Germany in order to inflict harm on locals. The economic poverty in which the Versailles Treaty plunged the working and middle classes in Germany was an incentive to prostitution. Quote, "The men who are doing this know what they are doing and why they are doing it. What inextinguishable fires of hatred are being accumulated upon the head of the French people, innocent as a people for these things, the future will only too clearly show. As a distinguished soldier said to me the other day, were I a German, I would forgive everything, but this, never." Unquote. Eventually, Morel started writing a series of pamphlets further detailing the events. These were translated into a number of languages and widely distributed, despite Allied efforts to have them censored. Now, while Morel did use what today would be considered disparaging language to describe Africans, he curiously expressed anger at French militarists for using Africans as cannon fodder in European conflicts. Indeed, Morel had previously written numerous books denouncing European imperialism. For example, he wrote about the rubber trade and King Leopold's policies in the Congo. In fact, quite a few academics today regularly cite his work when discussing the evils of European colonialism. Yet, when it comes to Morel's assertions about the Rhineland occupation, his claims are suddenly and rigorously scrutinized. Morel wrote in some detail on how the French military demanded local German towns establish and maintain brothels for colonial troops, and that when they protested, they were threatened. The mayor of one town in the Palatinate, who demurred when requested to set up a brothel, was told that hesitation on his part would render him liable to be brought before a military court. The officials then told him that if a brothel was not established, quote, German women, girls, and boys would suffer the unavoidable consequences, unquote. As Morel informs us, however, brothels or no, the German women, girls, and boys still suffered the unavoidable consequences. Children as young as 7 were assaulted and raped on their way to and from school. When local women were able to escape their assailants and seek aid, they were told by French officials that their assailants had, quote, not been home for 2.5 years, that these things must happen, unquote. Sometimes the authorities pointed to their fair hair and remarked that the black soldiers are partial to blondes. Quite remarkably, several women's rights organizations at the time spoke out against the use of colored troops in Germany. The International Women's League sent a petition to the League of Nations demanding their withdrawal. In Sweden, the premier discussed the atrocities at the Riksdag, and some 50,000 Swedish women signed a similar petition. In Germany, the Rhinish Women's League published and distributed their own advocacy material, wherein they too shared the details of numerous cases. Now, today we're repeatedly told to #BelieveAllWomen, but apparently this axiom carries with it some fine print. With this in mind, and considering how often feminists deplore victim blaming, it should be emphasized here that something Morel and his female allies had to contend with at the time was the constant accusation that German women were lying.